What's going on, everyone? Today I'm going to show you how to replace the rider foot pegs on your Yamaha WR250X or Yamaha WR250R. They should be the same steps all the way from 08 up to current, I believe 17 at least. I'm using these Warp 9 foot pegs. I will post them in the video description if you choose to purchase them online. For some reason here it says only 08 to 12. I'm not sure if they changed anything from 12 to 17 or if they just haven't updated what these fit. And I guess it fits Huskies too. So we're gonna go ahead and get started by removing the old ones. As you can see, a little bit of damage here from my fender bender. Asphalt and dirt stuck up in there, all twisted and bent. So you could try to fight and just pull these bolts out straight away, but even with this moving, I don't think you're gonna be able to get to the top one straight on. So we're gonna go ahead and remove this part first. I'm gonna try to reuse these brackets. I think it's not bent up at all, or not much anyways, because these don't come with those. So we're gonna go ahead and remove these now, and we're gonna start by removing the cotter pin right here off this pin. All right, now there's a few ways you can do this. You'll see the cotter pin here has a little eyelet on it. What you want to do is these little pieces coming out the back of the pin are going to be folded over. You're going to want to straighten those out best you can, which is kind of hard on this side because the kickstand and the peg itself are in the way. And then after that, you're going to either want to get a small pick or a screwdriver. This is method number one. You can either stick a pick or a screwdriver into the eyelet and then use a hammer to kind of pound outward to get the pin out, or you can do what I'm going to try doing here, which is just kind of like grab the eyelet with a side cutter. This is the bent foot peg, so everything's kind of mangled, but what you want to try to do is get a bite on it and just kind of pull the pin through. Just like that. Mine broke, but it came out. Now, should be able to push this pin up. Obviously mine's all mangled and stuff, so I'm gonna have to use a hammer and a little punch to kind of knock the pin up. You can give it a few taps from the bottom, and then if you don't have a punch or a screwdriver or anything to drive it the rest of the way out, you can kind of pry it from the top. Or if this doesn't work, which for some reason it's not, you can do one of these, just kind of twist and pull, just like we were doing with the side cutters and the cotter pin. Kind of slowly work it out. There is some spring tension here, so kind of keep your hands clear. There we go. Road matter. Might be kind of hard to tell on camera here, but it looks like the upper ear is bent up just a tad, so I'm going to give it a little schmuck with a hammer. Don't want to go too far though, because if we pinch it too tight, then we won't be able to get the new one in. So all with the old. If you do need to replace the mount for whatever reason, you will need a T47 Torx socket. So you can see there, fits nice and snug. Now, one thing to note with the Warp 9 ones is they're quite a bit bigger than the factory ones, which I was actually looking for that because the way my foot is, if my foot, the center of my foot here where the arch rests here, it wants to keep sliding forward and my toe slides off the brake. So I'm hoping this will give me a little bit better footing. One weird thing I noticed about these ones, I don't know if I got a defect one or what, because I can't really think of why they would do this, but this one, you can see they've got like these little grub screws that are Allens, so you should, in theory, be able to back these out and thread them further in, so you can change the pitch, how far these things stick out. But it's missing one or two right here. Yeah, two of them. So I don't know why it's like that, but it bothers me a little bit just because I like my things to be symmetrical, but we're going to use them anyway. All right, so the new Warp 9 foot pegs also came with new springs. We're on the left side of the bike here, so what we want to do is, this is obviously the right one for this side. To try to put this one in, it would be upside down. So to find the right spring for each side, you'll slip it on, and you want the bigger tab to kind of grab the foot peg, and the smaller hook will grab the bottom here. So it's going to go in like this. And you kind of have to fight the spring to get the hole to line up for the pin. So if you're not strong enough to get it pushed in far enough to fight the spring to get the pin in, you can try taking like a screwdriver, a pick, or a punch and come from the bottom side and try to line up the foot peg. Use the screwdriver as a pry bar and start the pin. Now we're going to go ahead and reinstall our bottom washer and our new cotter pin. Now we're going to use the side cutters just like I did to remove the cotter pin to bend it back over. You can use the pliers or something else. If the cotter pin is long enough, you could actually even use your fingers, but this one's kind of short, so I can't get much leverage. Just want to bend it so that it's not going to come out. All right, so the cotter pin is in, it's not going anywhere. The foot peg moves freely. We're gonna go ahead and repeat the same steps on the other side. There's a few slight differences, so make sure you pay attention to this. All right, so as you can see, we're on the other side now, and here's the problem: is we took the cotter pin out and the washer off, and then tried to get this pin up, and we're hitting the brake lever. So what I'm gonna do is take it off right here. That's a 6mm Allen, which I have right here. But first, on the back side, you need to pull this little clip doodad, because that's the bolt that you got to take out. So you should be able to kind of just grab it. And it's hard, I know it's hard to see in there, but just kind of pull it out like that. It's just basically like a R key. So now that that's out, we can go ahead pull the bolt out. Carefully move this off to the side. You'll see I dropped a washer here, so that's got to go back in there. And also pay attention because there's a spring here. Just gonna kind of move it out of the way so we can get the peg off. There we go. All right, so if everything fell apart on you like it did on me and you weren't paying attention, that spring that was dangling, it just goes from the brake lever to this little hook hole right here. All right, so now we can just kind of move it off there. It fell off again. Whatever. All right, now just to get this out of the way a little bit more, we're gonna go ahead and unhook it from the linkage here. It's just a little hook on the bottom. You just hold the linkage, lift up on the lever, and then you can release. Now we can get a little bit better access to it. As with the other side, you're gonna put the spring on so the big clip grabs the peg. Now it's kind of hard to hit the pin in because this cover is in the way. So you can use a punch. I'm just using an extension just to kind of get down on there. Get a little bit better swing with the hammer, just because there is a lot of tension with that spring. Alright, now once the pin's all the way in, we're going to reinstall our washer and a new cotter pin. Fold it over just like we did on the other side. Now it's a little strange with these specific pegs on my bike. It's a tight fit. It actually hits this bolt head, and you can see when you lift it, it binds. So I forced it up and down a bunch of times, and it ended up just peeling off a little shaving of the aluminum. So it's a tight fit, but I mean, I don't really need these to go up for any reason other than if it falls, and at that point there's enough pressure to push up anyway, or they'll break again. So all right, so now that the foot pegs are both fully installed, we're gonna go ahead and rehook our thingamajigger return spring. Same with the little guy. Remember, that goes down right here. And now don't forget about our washer. Mine has a bunch of black on it on one side, there's nothing on the other. So I'm just gonna go ahead and assume that the black faced the black paint. And we'll reinstall our bolts. Make sure you don't lose your washer. Ah! Oh! Haha! Make sure it works so it's not too tight or binding or anything like that. The washer, that's the job. It's supposed to space it. Everything looks good. Ready to ride. Just kidding, not ready to ride. One more thing, reinstall weirdo clip. Let's kind of push it on and it just chills there. Now we're ready to ride. Again, I will post all the links in the video description for the products used in this video if you wish to purchase them. Otherwise, the cotter pins you can get at your local hardware store. Same with the washers if you lose those. Basically everything except for the pegs. If this video helped you out, make sure you hit the like button. Subscribe for more videos like this. Make sure to check me out on Facebook at Tony the Truck Guy. Thanks for watching.